The reason I invest in areas like Turffontein and the lower income market is because your rental yield is fantastic. You know, that's one of the key requirements when you go into the lower income space. They want to have some sort of BIC, built-in cupboards. And again, a very common trend is to close off the balcony and to create some additional rooms or beds. The best part of this deal is that I've got zero of my own money in this deal. It was 100% financed by private finance. Welcome back to another case study. We're back in my favorite part of South Africa to invest in the south of Johannesburg, an area called Turffontein. You might recognize Turffontein from one of my other videos, Moffett Court. If you haven't watched that case study, click the link below and watch it. It is an eye-opener. Turffontein is considered to be a low-income area. It's in the south of Johannesburg, but it's within a 5 to 10 minute drive proximity of the CBD of Johannesburg. Now, the issue with the CBD is that it's very densely populated. There's obviously a lot of economic activity. It's the hub of Johannesburg, so everybody wants to live there, but it's already so densely packed. I mean, all of those skyscrapers are filled to the max. So, you know, you've got a lot of people that work in Joburg that want to be within close proximity to it, but they don't necessarily want to live in these skyscraper buildings. They don't want to live in the high density. They want to stay more in a suburb type feel. So the south of Johannesburg, Rosettenville, Turffontein, Kenilworth, all of these lower income areas, they don't charge much more than you would be paying at the likes of Hillbrow or Berea and CBD, and you've got the 5 to 10 minute proximity to town with decent public transport. So that's why this market is doing well. The reason I invest in areas like Turffontein and the lower income market is because your rental yield is fantastic, meaning you are likely to get a good cash flow from day one, even when you're using debt. If you look at an example like Bryanston or one of the affluent suburbs, to get a rental yield of 10% is nearly impossible. You're probably getting 6, 7, 8% rental yield, which means that your rent's not even going to cover your bond. But in these areas, it's possible to get rental yields of 15, 20, 25%, depending how good a discount you can negotiate, meaning that you can get that juicy cash flow from day one. And that's the reason that I've invested here. So the building we're going to now is called Moffett Court. It is on Turf Club Street. And let's go and have a look inside and see how this deal panned out. This is a building of 9 times 2 bedroom apartments. It's very similar to the deal we did around the corner from here. So we know that that building has performed well, and we're confident that this one is going to do the same. Unfortunately, the seller of this building was not really that motivated, but with the rising interest rate environment and the limited number of buyers, we were able to get a decent discount on this property. The asking price was at 2.7 million, but we were able to negotiate him down to 2.2 million. On average, the building makes 40,000 Rand per month in rental, which gives us a gross yield of 21%. Now, when you buy a property, you have this thing called transfer costs, the cost of transferring the ownership from the seller to the buyer, and you also have transfer duties. That is the money payable to SARS for the tax of doing the transfer. Now, instead of buying the property, what we did is we bought the shares of the company that holds this property, meaning we didn't have to pay any transfer duties, which on a deal of this size would amount to 55,000 Rand. That's a massive cha-ching. The best part of this deal is that I have got zero of my own money in this deal. It was 100% financed by private finance. So there was an angel investor who found me on YouTube. He liked what I do. He likes the business model. But because he doesn't live in the area, he doesn't have the team and the system in place, he felt more confident having someone like me manage the asset for him. So I've been given 10% shares of the company, putting no money in, and I get 5% of the monthly rental as a management fee. Now, that wouldn't have been possible if I didn't in the beginning risk my own money. Everybody wants to know how to use private finance. The trick with private finance is that you need credibility and you need trust. One of the main reasons why I do these videos is to build my brand so that more cash-rich investors will partner with me. Enough about the deal. Let's go inside and have a look. Cool, so here we're inside. We've got 3 units at the bottom, 3 on the middle floor, 3 on the top floor. We obviously have our fire safety, and we've been given a certificate of compliance from the previous seller. It was one of the terms on our OTP. Another great thing about this building is that it's fully prepaid, both from a water perspective and from electricity. So here you can actually see by the plumbing, here are the water meters. What's nice about prepaid is that the tenant has to pay then play, instead of being able to use and then us as landlords having to charge them and try and recover the funds post usage. Let's go and have a look inside a unit and see what it looks like. So here we're inside unit 8. If we go into this room here, this is the second bedroom. Here we've got some built-in cupboards. You know, that's one of the key requirements when you go into the lower income space. They want to have some sort of BIC, built-in cupboards. But the unit has been recently painted. There's very minimal work that's required. I mean, you can see this is livable as is. And then here we've got what used to be a balcony. And again, a very common trend is to close off the balcony and to create some additional rooms or beds in the area. So you've got a bunk bed here. This is probably where the kids stay. Then when we walk through here, we get to the master bedroom. Again, parquet flooring, recently painted, some nice built-in cupboards, TV, one of the most important accessories in any kind of house. Then we can move over here into the kitchen. As always, never ceases to amaze me, but geysers are always inside the property. We've got a movable stove here, and then the kitchen is in pretty good condition, you know, all things considered. It looks like it's been recently renovated, and we've got a DB board. That DB board looks pretty healthy and pretty new. So all in all, the kitchen is in great shape. The bathroom needs a little bit of work. That's part of why I'm here today, is to get a sense of what the different, high priority items are per tenant and what needs to be fixed. But as you can see, the bathtub needs to be replaced. Because we're in a higher risk area, we've decided to prioritize security over everything else. So we've put a nice boundary gate across the entire property, and we've put some electric fencing so that our tenants feel safe, but also that we can attract good quality tenants who value security. One of the main issues with this building is that it's got a flat roof. And the issue with that is that when it rains, it's hard to, exit that water off the roof. It's much better to have some sort of, angled roof. So what our thinking is to potentially put solar panels on the top of the roof here as our load shedding crisis gets worse and worse. And that'll also give us that little bit of leverage to get rid of the roof. Alternatively, if we decide to not go for the load shedding solar panels option, then what we'll need to do is every 2-3 years, we'll need to repaint the top of the roof and make sure that the drains are working and functioning so that we don't get a buildup of water. My name is Lawrence Bull. I have over a decade of experience in the affordable housing sector, and I've built a property portfolio that's given me financial independence. If this is something that interests you and you want to get into this market, you might want to consider joining my coaching program. This is where I sit with you on a one-to-one basis, and I take you through everything from finding the deal, negotiating a good offer price, and managing your assets so that it meets the returns that you expect. If you want to know more, click the link below.